Hi everybody, Lori GLP-1 Journey in Review. My GLP-1 journey, I've been on tirzepatide for 16 and a half months. I've been on maintenance for about 4 months. I started at 178. I am currently right around 118. It jumps from 116 to 120, but that is maintenance. Stay tuned to the end because I will tell you how to enter my contest to win Amazon gift cards. And please remember to hit that subscribe, like, and share button if you find this at all useful. So, injection mistakes. Again, some you knew you were making, some you might not have known. And let's start off. This medication is meant to be injected subcutaneously, meaning into the fat. So you do not want to go into the muscle. You do not want to go into the vein. There's 3 places where they've done studies that they recommend injecting: back of the arm, the top of the legs, or around your belly button in your stomach. A good way to make sure that you're in some fat is to pinch. And that way you'll know that it's fat and not muscle. So again, subcutaneous into the fat. So that's one of the mistakes that people make. Could you use it in another site and it work? Possibly, but these are the known ones and these are the ones that they've done studies on, so that's where I would stick to. I personally use around my belly button because I've tried my leg and it hurt. Don't have as much muscle there, and it's very hard for me to do the arm by myself. It would probably be easier with a pen, but I use compounded, so I don't have a pen. Which leads us to the next common mistake, is injecting in the same place over and over. You don't want to do that. What happens is the skin gets tough, you get some scar tissue, and when that happens, one, it's going to hurt a little bit more because you're going through tougher skin, and it may not absorb as well. And we want this medication to work as good as it can. So you do not want to go to the same site. If you're using your legs, use one leg 1 week, the other the next week. If you're rotating between your legs and your arms, I keep a log of where I've injected because I do my stomach all the time. Good idea, so you know where your last one was, so you don't accidentally keep doing it in the same spot. When I do my stomach, I use it like a clock. I go 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, then I go the in-between. So that's how I do it. Another mistake, using the needle in the same syringe over and over again. These are one-time use needles, and let me tell you, the more you use a needle, the duller it gets. The duller it gets, the more it's going to hurt. That's just one thing with it. Plus, every time you use it, you're taking the higher risk of getting an infection. We don't want that either. Most of the compounding places give you syringes, sometimes not enough. They're cheap enough to get on Amazon or at your local drugstore. I think I paid $6 for, I don't know if it was 25 or 50, which has lasted me a long time. I did have one of them once when I was putting it into the vial. It bent the needle because they're very thin needles. And I just went ahead and pitched it and got another one because although it was probably fine, I didn't want it to hurt me. I didn't want to take the risk if there was a crack of any of the medication getting out. So easy enough. Another big mistake is not using proper injection technique. Now you should have all of your supplies ready. Wipe off where you're going to do it. Wash your hands really well. Alcohol the vial, and not just a little dab. Alcohol it pretty good. Draw the medication up. Make sure that all the air is out of it. What I do is if it's 50 units, I pull the syringe back to 50 units. I put that much air into the vial, and I watch it and I draw back 50 units. One thing, another mistake, which I'll get back to the injection part of it, is not drawing up the right amount because there might be an air bubble in there. And we don't want people not getting the proper doses. So make sure that all the air is out. You can give it a tap while the vial's still on there. The vial will stay on there. Make sure all the air is out so that you're getting the proper dose. And take the needle out of the vial. Alcohol where you're going to wipe it really well. Pinch your skin. inject it, slowly put the plunger in. When it's all in, count to 3. You don't want to be in a hurry, because I've seen or heard people that have pulled it out and a couple drops gets on their skin, it's still going in. So if you count to 3 while it's in there and then pull it out, you're usually pretty good. I have a video on how to inject. Feel free to go to the playlist and take a look at it. Plenty of instructional videos out there on how to do it, but that covers how to do it. Again, that also leads us to not priming the syringe, making sure all the air is out, because we want you to get your full dose. Another mistake is not checking the dose that's on the vial. You don't always get the same vial from the same pharmacy, so especially if you're using multiple pharmacies, please make sure that you check the dose on the vial while you are drawing it up. And sometimes it's in milliliters, sometimes it's in units. Know the difference. Make sure, double check, because you want to inject the proper amount. You don't want to underdose. You don't want to overdose. Plain and simple. If you don't understand it, there's a conversion chart, and it's always supplied either on the vial itself or on a piece of paper that comes with it. I save those papers until those vials are gone. I keep them in a little bag with the vial, because if I accidentally made a mistake and I say, oh, I injected 50 units, my doctor would want to know exactly what the dosage was and not just the units, because it depends on the concentration as to how many units. So make sure you know the difference. Again, we don't want to underdose or overdose ourselves. And if you do, don't be afraid to contact your healthcare provider, because underdosing, not as bad, but obviously you're not getting the full effect of the medication. Overdosing, it could lead to some consequences. You could get kind of sick, you could get a lot of side effects. Don't be afraid to let your healthcare provider know. Again, it happens. Be very careful. Like I said, if you're using multiple pharmacies, 50 units from Empower might be different from how many units, even the same 15 milligrams might be different units from Red Rock. You don't know what the concentration is. Even from the same pharmacy, batch just might be a little bit different. Make sure you know the dose. And if you're having a hard time figuring out, call the pharmacy. You'll be able to tell them the number that's on the vial, the prescription number. They'll be able to help you. It's very important. And another thing is, what do you do with the needles when you're done? The syringes. A lot of places, I've looked it up on from my waste and where I live, and they say you can cap it up and throw it out. I'm just not real comfortable with that, working in the healthcare profession myself. So I use a little plastic container. I put them in there. When it gets full, you close it up, and I label that it's needles, and then I throw it out. Or better yet, on Amazon, you could buy a little red bin, and then you could take it to your doctor's office. A lot of pharmacies will take it. You could take it to Waste Management. As a matter of fact, Amazon even sells one with a return label where you could literally, ship it back to them and they'll dispose of it properly. So, just a thought. Again, we want everybody to be safe. Again, if you're going to store it like that at home, also if you have kids, make sure it's in a high place where they can't get it, because you don't want them to accidentally get stuck. Because once it's sitting there, it could be growing germs and stuff. Even though you might not have something, if they grabbed a syringe that was 2 months old, it could have a lot of germs on there. Again, we don't want that. So those are some of the mistakes. Contest. Let's put a drink like milkshake. You can either emoji of one or write the word milkshake. Just be a subscriber, hit that like button, and put that in the comments, and you're entered. And also in the comments, let me know if you've made any of these mistakes. Like I said, sometimes you know about it, sometimes you don't. And that's it for this video.